Welcome back to the 4A Baseball Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's regular season time. We're here. It's been opening week, and we're a little bit late on this episode. We had personal things come up in the form of calculus and physics, so we're going to ignore those. This is the most fun I've had watching baseball since the World Baseball Classic. But it's been the best regular season. It's a little bit biased because it's recent, but it's been so much fun already. How are you guys doing?
I'm on the hype train. 2023 has been the best season ever. I mean, I've been watching it since the first pitch. Um, I'm just so excited, man. This is a great time in the season. Everyone is. I'm ready to. Stabs, how are we doing?
I'm trying to think back because I don't think I've been this excited to watch I always watch like the Nationals opening day. Like I'll watch the opening ceremonies and all of that. Um, but I haven't been this excited to like continuously watch baseball for an entire weekend, at least for opening weekend since like 2017. Like not even in because in 2019 the Nats were terrible. I was excited in 2020, but that was COVID, so it kind of messed everything up. And then 2021. 2022. Now we're in 2023, and I'm just excited to watch baseball again. And the Nats still suck. So
Yeah, they do. That was one of the opening day games. I think they were paired at opening day with the Giants and the Yankees. We
yeah,
kicked it off right there. I might have accidentally forgot to go to class just to watch those games. And we'll kick it off like the big summary of like Yankees Giants because it's the first like real game of the season. Sorry, Stevs, but you had Patrick Corbin pitching. Um, and that's exactly what happened. Patrick Corbin pitched and the Braves got right to him. Max Fried did get hurt, but the Giants Yankees game was a pitcher's duel. Tom, you
I mean, it was really an experience for me because I didn't really watch a spring training game all the way through. I think watching this Giants game made me realize how much faster baseball is this season.
Mhm.
Because I watched and I really didn't stop watching. I was watching it on my phone at the library in between class the entire time, and I managed to finish the entire game before I went to the next class. So it was like, I mean, it was a hard. It wasn't very nice because we lost, but it was right back where we left off. Aaron Judge doing his Aaron Judge things. He should be on our team, but that's fine. Logan Webb breaks the strikeout record for Giants on opening day, but still not enough. Our offense just went, blank on us, but it was a good change. There's even in the first two games, there's been a lot more stolen bases, and that was what I was really paying attention to the first two games.
Yeah, I like that. Especially like I think up the whole weekend they were up 100% from last year. I think we literally doubled the amount of attempts, and the success rate was a bit higher, but I think that's just going to be an adjustment. Like that'll fall at some point. Um, the Giants did not look great. Garrett Cole looked very good. So did Logan Webb, to his own respect. I think the thing about pace of play is you don't notice it, but it's also when it was a much longer pace of play, right? You felt comfortable going to use the bathroom real quick and coming back, and it's probably still the same at bat. I don't like leaving my seat because I feel like I'm gonna miss my half inning now. Like I'm gonna miss a good chunk of action.
And I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing, especially for younger viewers who, I mean, obviously have a little bit less of an attention span. The younger you go, the less attention span you have. I think it's better to bring in young fans to baseball. And it's not even that. It's also the fact that, people have lives outside of baseball too. I mean, you can't be spending 4 hours watching a game every day. Having shorter games is also better for the fans too.
I mean, yeah, like look at I'm just kind of like because like even like ESPN, like they're covering baseball. Like they've been like posting things on Instagram and Twitter and whatever about baseball. And that's something that really hasn't been happening in the past couple of years because baseball is kind of becoming a relevant sport in the eyes of mass media outside of just MLB media. So it's good to see that it's getting the attention that it deserves.
Yeah, and as a whole, right, you're able to. Tom points out you're able to watch more games. We're carrying some momentum from the World Baseball Classic, so that's going to naturally have more viewers. People tune in. The content's good. It's going to retain those viewers and helps grow the game. Another thing Tom and I have pointed out a couple of times is we're able to watch a majority of our West Coast games. As an East Coast fan, the biggest player in all of baseball is Shohei Ohtani. And it's very difficult to watch him on a given night in 2022 because those games, you're in the fourth inning and it's midnight. Now we can watch 6, 7 innings of Shohei Ohtani. We could probably catch his entire start before it's midnight, which is a great thing for the growth of baseball, especially when, half the fans are probably on the East Coast.
Yeah, and I want to specify, I don't like less baseball. I'm not happy that there's less baseball. I'm happy, and that's the thing. There is not less baseball. There is less downtime. I don't like watching dudes stand on screen for 30 seconds in between pitches. We are cutting that out. We're not cutting the action out. That's not what I'm saying. And that's what I'm trying to point out here. I'm not ecstatic that there's less baseball because that would be bad. I'm ecstatic that there is less, absolute downtime, human rain delays on the mound, guys walking around in circles. That is boring to me, and it's boring to a lot of fans. So I think cutting that out while also maintaining the same action that we had last year is just good for the game, dude.
So you said that, and I pulled up the Jeff Passan tweet because he replied to somebody that had tweeted like, I still don't understand why the MLB is taking more baseball away from us. And then Passan replied with, I've yet to see like anyone provide a reasonable answer to that question. Like, why? What are we losing? Like,
John
it's the
Smoltz
numbers
talking
show.
about himself.
The numbers show explicitly this is more baseball, more hits, more stolen bases, more plays, more throws, and there's still 27 outs. The other dude deleted his tweet. So
And
that's just like it's more baseball. You're seeing more hits, you're seeing more plays, more balls in play, more actually athletic plays that the middle infielders have to make.
yeah,
I
I'm
think
trying to find sorry, you got it real quick.
I mean, I think it's easy to be negative on Rob Manfred sometimes, and he does, bring in a lot of hate, but this is a very good move for baseball. I think this is one of the best moves that they have made in a while. And initially I thought this is not going to work. This is going to be horrible. And I think that's what a lot of people thought. But now we're seeing it kind of unfold in action now, and I think fans are beginning to accept that this is good for baseball and this is going to grow the sport and it's going to make it even more entertaining to me.
Well, I think a lot of old heads, like we grew up with that old head type of mentality of the game is the game. It shouldn't change. We don't want it to change, but change is good. Change is necessary for all good things to happen. It's necessary. So for this change to happen now, heading into the rest of the 2020s and beyond, I think it's the best thing for baseball.
Yeah, and I mean, my dad's an all-time baseball fan. He's been watching the game for years since he was a kid. And when he was watching the game the other day, he's like, I feel like I'm watching a game in the 1980s or like the 90s, because games were not long back then. So we really just cut out the early 2000s, 2010s when baseball started getting lengthened out for, reasons that we can't really confirm because they were adjusting their gloves or walking around the mound. That stuff is being cut out, but the baseball itself has never changed.
Yeah, and so with the numbers we want to talk about the change, batting average and balls in play, pretty good predictive stat. It's kind of understanding. It can also have a lot of luck to it, but it's a good way of measuring where the league's at. Right? So from 2015 through 2023, grounders have decreased from 249 to 240. So this year, ground balls are still down because although the extreme shift is gone, there's still some shift. You can have a guy literally 2 feet to the left of second base, and the second baseman is still shifted over. He just has to be on the infield dirt. That can still happen. So ground balls kind of still at a low BABIP rate. Line drives have gone up 31 batting average points on balls in play from 618 to 641 from 2022 to 2023. That's good. Line drives, probably should be rewarded for hitting the ball pretty square up. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the line drive into shallow right field. That is no longer an out because it's an actual hit. Fly balls are up 34 points. Pop flies are up 16 points. And there's just some clips of just some egregious defensive plays. Like the Bermuda Triangles come back, though. Something the shift has done is it kind of negated that because the second baseman can move over, the third baseman's much closer, left fielder has more rain. Now you actually got to communicate. So I think that those numbers will fall back a little bit to average, especially the pop flies as the season goes on. But I trust that line drive number.
Yeah, and I feel like even if you are not a big fan of, growing offense and, trying to maintain the pitching in baseball, you can tell it's still there. Pitchers are still dominating out there. I don't think there's much of a significant change. I think 30 points in BABIP is not gonna, take away pitchers' ability to, be as dominant as they were before.
I think we're gonna see a lot of growing pains with like we've already even like kind of seen it. Like who was it? I think it was Camilo Duvall against the Yankees. He was having some struggles out on the mound and you couldn't get out there to talk to him as many times as you wanted to talk to him to calm him down. And you saw it a couple times with a couple other guys. But Duvall was just the guy that popped into my mind. So it's just it's gonna take some time to getting used to, and you gotta realize you are on the mound. You have one visit, and you have what 15 to 20 seconds to calm yourself down, get on the bump, and throw the pitch you want to pitch.
I mean, it's a good example. It's not a great example because it was pouring down rain and it was a safe situation in the Bronx. It's not a very easy situation. I feel like that made it very hard to save. Imagine trying to save a game against one of the best offenses in baseball in pouring rain, trying to get a grip on the ball. That
Well, yeah,
stressed
but
me
like
out.
that
But like,
adds
yeah,
that adds to it, right? Like there's extenuating factors that are going to affect you, and you gotta figure out you gotta work through them. So it's gonna take some time. And like, who was it? Was it Carrasco? Carrasco got, I think it was yesterday. Carrasco got
His first pitch.
his first pitch. He got a violation. So as we grow with the game, like next year, I think it'll be a lot different to start the season. But
I
right
think
now,
we'll be
it's
used to
gonna
it.
be yeah, exactly. But right now there's some growing pains. There was what like on opening day there was like 16 violations or something like that. I'm probably over exaggerating the number, but I think next year if it was 16, it'll be half that. And then as we go, there'll still be violations, but like it won't take as much time to like explain what happened and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can just simply say, and they violated the pitch clock. They took too long to get ready. And everyone, unless they're new to baseball, will understand exactly what that means.